Today, we are doing a deep dive into source material that, well, it feels more relevant now than ever. George Orwell's incredible political allegory, 1984.
It really does.
You sent us the excerpts, the analyses, your notes, and our mission is to deliver the knowledge you need on the foundational concepts of this world of Oceania.
And I think if you've been away from this text for a while, you have to confront the core philosophy of the state right away. Because it's honestly the most shocking part of the entire system.
Right.
The party, INGSOC, it doesn't operate on logic. It operates on inversion. Its three guiding slogans, they're not just contradictions. They are these fundamental koans almost designed to replace objective truth.
Let's just hear them again because they really are the engine of this entire terrifying system.
War is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength.
What's so fascinating here is that Orwell wasn't just, spinning a purely fictional yarn. This critique was born out of some intense historical anxiety.
Absolutely. You have to remember the context. He was writing this in the shadow of World War II. He'd seen wartime censorship under Churchill, all these restrictions on liberties.
Sure.
And he was deeply concerned that the post-war Labor government, after having all this immense power, might not want to just let it go.
The fear that idealism corrupts into this self-perpetuating tyranny.
Exactly. His fear was that this will to power, the ability to control thought for some ideal, would just crystallize into a permanent totalitarian state, like Oceania.
And the person guiding us through this world is Winston Smith. He's a member of the Outer Party living in London, which is now just Airstrip 1.
And when we talk about his life, this isn't some efficient, well-oiled machine of fascism. The system is built on deliberate squalor.
Oh, the details are so vivid.
He lives in victory mansions, which are just old flats, literally fallen to pieces. Everything is vile.
Yeah, the sources are so specific about that misery. You read about the victory gin.
Yeah.
It's like nitric acid.
Gives you this sensation of being hit on the back of the head.
And the victory cigarettes where all the tobacco just falls right out.
And these details, they create the environment. Discomfort is the norm. It keeps the population, agitated, focused on just surviving.
Not on political thought.
Exactly. It's only when Winston finds this little alcove in his flat, a blind spot from the telescreen, that he can finally commit his first act of rebellion.
Opening his contraband diary.
And that simple act, just putting pen to paper, is immediately thought crime.
And thought crime, we're told, is the essential crime. It contains all the others. But the party is so meticulous, they even punish things that aren't words.
Yes, face crime.
Face crime. Just wearing an improper expression.
A flicker of doubt, maybe some boredom. Anything the party decides is inappropriate. It shows you just how deep the control has to be. The real battle isn't external. It's inside your own mind.
Okay, let's unpack the external control first. The mechanisms. These four enormous ministries. Winston works in the Ministry of Truth. Minitru.
Minitru, yeah.
But what is its actual job?
Well, its function isn't just to spread information. It's to produce and control all content, everything from state instructions to entertainment. Winston's in the records department doing what they call rectification.
Rectification. That's such a chilling term for what is
Basically,
outright forgery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is he erasing?
He's erasing reality itself. I mean, for example, if Big Brother predicts an offensive in North Africa, but the military actually attacks South India.
He has to go back and change it.
He has to rewrite every record of the Times to show the prediction was always South India. But the chocolate ration example is even more insidious.
Okay, the chocolate ration, this is where the system really shows its psychological warfare.
So the Ministry of Plenty makes this categorical pledge. The ration will not fall below 30 grams. The very next day, it's reduced to 20.
And then what happens?
Immediately, a news report comes out thanking Big Brother for raising the ration to 20 grams a week. Wait, I just want to linger on that. It's not just a lie. You, the citizen, have three contradictory facts in your head at once. The pledge, the reduction, and the raise.
Precisely. And that's why the party needs the technology of memory erasure. If someone is eliminated, they're vaporized. They didn't just die, they never existed.
And the documents.
Any piece of contradictory evidence goes down the memory hole and is just incinerated. History becomes a palimpsest, scraped clean and reinscribed.
A palimpsest. So the past doesn't just change, it disappears completely. No trace of the original.
There's only an endless present where the party is always right.
And the Ministry of Truth, it also controls Vice, right? I found this detail fascinating.
Oh, yes. The pornography for the proles. It's produced in a subsection they call pornosec, or the muck house.
So even the tools of distraction and base pleasure are centrally controlled and manufactured by the party.
It guarantees that every single aspect of life, from high-level political thought to simple physical pleasure, is regulated by ingsoc.
Okay, so if the party is erasing the past externally with the memory hole, how do they do it internally, in someone's mind? Which brings us straight to doublethink.
Doublethink really is the core of ingsoc,
Okay.
and it's so much more sophisticated than just hypocrisy.
It's not just lying to yourself.
No,
Ah.
it's the conscious acceptance of two contradictory beliefs at the same time. It demands that you know a lie is being told, you participate in that lie, and yet you genuinely believe the lie is true.
How can a person even manage that cognitive load without going insane?
It's psychological training, enforced by fear. It's the ability to believe that black is white, and then a second later to forget you ever believed the contrary.
So it's a tool that lets people follow every twist and turn of the party line without ever realizing a change happened.
Exactly. This controlled insanity is why the names of the ministries are these deliberate inverted contradictions.
Right. The Ministry of Plenty handles scarcity. Ministry of Truth handles lies.
The Ministry of Peace, it only concerns itself with war, and the Ministry of Love, with torture.
It's this constant reinforcement that reality is whatever the party says it is, and the language itself is designed to make this possible.
Yes, Newspeak.
Newspeak is crucial, but I feel like it's often discussed as an afterthought. It's really the operational mechanism that makes doublethink work.
Exactly right. Newspeak was designed to diminish the range of thought. The goal was to remove any word that could sustain a real argument against the party. Think about the word free.
In Newspeak, free only exists in a simple sense, like, this dog is free from lice.
Right. The concept of being politically free is just gone. Because if the word doesn't exist, the concept becomes almost impossible to think about.
So trying to critique the party just becomes absurd.
It's childish. Saying Big Brother is ungood is just an emotional outburst, not a political critique. Linguistic control comes before psychological control.
Which brings us to War is Peace. We learn from Goldstein's book that the world is divided into 3 superstates, and they're just perpetually at war. But why? Why not just win?
And here's where it gets really interesting when you look at the economics of it. The primary aim of the war isn't victory. It's to use up surplus products.
A giant, controlled economic sinkhole.
That's a perfect way to put it. Because if the masses became too comfortable, and hence in the long run too intelligent, they might threaten the hierarchy.
So war is a way to keep people poor and dumb by design.
Yes, you lock up immense labor building things like floating fortresses that are just built and scrapped without actually producing anything people can consume to raise their standard of living.
So the war is basically an imposture, a fraud.
It's a war waged by each ruling group against its own subjects. That's the key. It keeps people mobilized, afraid, and always willing to sacrifice their freedom for security.
Let's turn to Winston's personal life now. His rebellion starts with the diary, but it really takes off when he meets Julia.
Julia, yeah, the dark-haired girl from the fiction department. She's the spark. She hands him that note.
I love you.
And their relationship, based on sex, privacy, pleasure, is a direct political act. Because the party wants to annihilate all those pure, personal emotions.
But the tension between them is so important to the plot. Winston's rebellion is, deeply ideological. He's hunting for truth, for facts about the past.
Whereas Julia's rebellion is completely personal. As Winston says, she's only a rebel from the waist downwards.
Right. She breaks rules for a good time. Black market sugar, real coffee, sex.
And she thinks organized revolt, the brotherhood, all of it is just stupid. She just wants to enjoy being alive. She thinks the war is just rubbish the party made up.
Their sanctuary becomes that room above Mr. Charrington's junk shop. No telescreen.
And in that room, we find the glass paperweight. The one with the piece of coral inside.
It's such a powerful symbol.
It symbolizes their fragile, protected little world. A link to some lost ancestral memory. For Winston, holding it is like holding a piece of a time when beauty and privacy were actually real.
But Winston still has this one big ideological hope. He writes that famous line, "If there was hope, it lay in the proles."
Yes, the 85% of the population.
Yeah.
He believes they have this natural vitality that they could overturn the system.
And that hope is just brutally crushed.
Instantly. He witnesses a huge cry of anger from the proles and he thinks, this is it. But it's not a revolution, it's a riot over tin saucepans.
And then his attempt to verify history with the old man in the pub, that's even worse.
Oh, it's so deflating. He asks him, was life better before the revolution? And the old man's memory is just a rubbish heap of trivial details.
Beer prices, top hats.
Right. He can't compare the two ages. Winston concludes the question itself is unanswerable. The party was right. The proles are helpless like animals because they lack general ideas.
The final destruction of Winston's hope comes from O'Brien, the inner party member he thought was a fellow rebel.
This is where the plot turns from desperate hope to just pure horror.
He thought O'Brien was part of the Brotherhood.
And O'Brien reveals the truth. The Brotherhood is an idea, but its members are isolated. There's no help. He tells them upon capture, you will confess and you will die.
And then, the Ministry of Love.
The place where Winston learns the real meaning of all those slogans. O'Brien becomes his re-educator.
He's the tormentor, the protector, the inquisitor, and the friend all at once.
And he lays out the philosophy. The purpose of torture isn't to get a confession. It's to force a conversion. The party demands total internal submission.
O'Brien's line is terrifyingly clear. Reality is inside the skull.
We create human nature. Men are infinitely malleable.
He tortures Winston, holding up 4 fingers and demanding he see 5. But that physical pain isn't the final defeat. That comes in Room 101.
Room 101, where every person must confront the worst thing in the world, their ultimate fear. For Winston, it's rats.
And in that moment, faced with the cage of hungry rats, he commits the ultimate betrayal.
Emotional treason, he screams it. Do it to Julia, not me.
He transfers his punishment to the only person he ever loved.
And that proves the party can break the final, most sacred human bond. That's their real victory. Not just confession, but conversion. The destruction of the ability to love anyone but the party.
Something inside him is burnt out, cauterized out.
Exactly. The final state of Winston is just limp acceptance. After his release, he's fatter, he's got this easy job. He sits alone at the Chestnut Tree Cafe.
He even meets Julia again.
But the feeling is just gone. They casually admit they betrayed each other. They both realized they could get inside you.
The party didn't need to kill him. They just needed to fix his mind. He sits watching the telescreen announce another great victory. The enemy seamlessly switches from Eurasia to Eastasia, and the doublethink just holds.
The struggle was finished. He had won the victory over himself, and his final thought is the culmination of everything.
He loved Big Brother.
It proves O'Brien's chilling claim was true. You are the last man. Your kind is extinct.
The whole journey just shows how this power structure can deny objective reality and force the individual to submit, not just physically, but emotionally and intellectually.
And the final thought the book really leaves you with is this. If power is maintained not by killing the heretic, but by converting him, by dismantling his internal world until he genuinely loves the authority that destroyed him, what price does the individual pay for that so-called healing change? And where do we see that same tension between objective external fact and a necessary internal belief playing out in our own world today?